Been talking a lot today about conflict, trade wars, potential shooting wars, the line of conflict that goes from the Ukraine down to Yemen. And we're all focused on these issues. We're all focused on the financial well being of the country, the spiritual well being of the country, the future of the country. So much change, so much conflict, and it all covers up the most important issue that nobody's talking about. Let's listen to Eric Schmidt, the former CEO of Google, because he lays it out in a way that cannot be ignored.
We believe as an industry that in the next 1 year, the vast majority of programmers will be replaced by AI programmers. We also believe that within 1 year, you will have graduate level mathematicians that are at the tippy top of graduate math programs. So that's 1 year, okay? What happens in 2 years? Well, I've just told you about reasoning, and I've told you about programming, and I've told you about math. Programming plus math are the basis of sort of our whole digital world. So the evidence and the claims from the research groups in OpenAI and Anthropic and so forth is that they're now somewhere around 10 or 20% of the code that they're developing in their research programs is being generated by the computer. That's called recursive self-improvement is the technical term. So what happens when this thing starts to scale? Well, a lot. One way to say this is that within 3 to 5 years, we'll have what is called general intelligence, AGI, which can be defined as a system that is as smart as the smartest mathematician, physicist, artist, writer, thinker, politician. I call this, by the way, the San Francisco consensus, because everyone who believes this is in San Francisco. It may be the water. What happens when every single one of us has the equivalent of the smartest human on every problem in our pocket? But the reason I want to make the point here is that in the next year or two, this foundation is being locked in, and we're not going to stop it. It gets much more interesting after that. Because remember, the computers are now doing self-improvement. They're learning how to plan, and they don't have to listen to us anymore. We call that superintelligence, or ASI, artificial superintelligence. And this is the theory that there will be computers that are smarter than the sum of humans. The San Francisco consensus is this occurs within 6 years, just based on scaling. This path is not understood in our society. There's no language for what happens with the arrival of this. That's why it's underhyped. People do not understand what happens when you have intelligence at this level, which is largely free.
This is really the news that matters. This technological change, this shiny object that we're going to have in our pocket for free, the smartest person in the world at our beck and call. Like free trade. It's all good for everybody. Now, free trade was not free, and neither is this technology. There's a cost, a human cost to this. We don't even have the language or the insight to assess either the benefits or the costs. But what I know is this. In the course of my lifetime, people have lost their relationship to what I like to call the natural way, the ability to go out into nature, to live amongst the animals of the forest, to survive the way people survived for hundreds of thousands of years, to be in communion with energies and with ideas that don't come from my smartphone or from AI, to be part of what was called traditionally the web before we had the World Wide Web. The idea that all living things are interconnected, the idea that there's a Holy Spirit that lives inside of us, that connects us to God, our Father in heaven. This idea now is being pushed aside. This way of life is being pushed aside in favor of a technological solution, as if it's better than what we had. Well, better for who? Better how? What are the costs? These are issues that we're not even considering we're not even asking the questions. Our attention is pulled away by World War III, by trade conflict, by energy, by the battle over all these different cultural issues. In other words, all of these divisive issues, which have so polarized we the people, prevent us from having a community wide conversation about the cost and benefits of a breakaway technology which is new and nobody's even talking about it. This San Francisco consensus, these companies, these technologists, these bureaucrats, they're going to unleash this technology on we the people, whether we like it or not. According to Schmidt, there's nothing we can do about it. Well, that's just not true. That's just not true. That is a psyop to say that we don't have any say in the future of humanity, in the future of the Republic of the United States of America. And we are going to have to get involved in this. This is really the core issue. We have smart cities. What's a smart city? It's a city that is dialed in so that it is going to be attached to this artificial intelligence. What is a 15-minute city? The same thing. What are all these data centers that are being built all over the country? These are centers that can acquire the data to feed this super intelligence. And who programmed it? It wasn't programmed by God. It was programmed by flawed humanity, by individual humans who have all of the foibles and shortcomings and failings that we all suffer. So a super intelligence is being created by we the people, and we're not so good. What's the evidence? $37 trillion of debt, an open border, in an endless war. So apparently, our outcomes are not very good. Yet we have the arrogance to create something that we cannot control. That's what we've done. That's what we're doing. And it's time, high time, that we, the people, assert our self governance and bring this technology before the American people for an analysis of its benefits and its costs. This is David Penn, your host of the Penn News Hour. Thank you very much for joining. We'll be back with you soon again.